All right, so 1 week from today is the Elimination Chamber. We have a few interesting matches, a few of them that I don't really care about. Like, for example, Buddy Murphy versus Akira Tozawa. Like, that's kind of a throwaway match. I don't think anyone's actually excited for that. I'm pretty sure
On the pre-show.
Buddy's just gonna retain, and that's gonna be it. Pretty much, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say, but I'm sure they'll have like a good match. They're both great workers, but it'll be on the pre-show. No
That's
one's
probably
really.
gonna be the first match, or if that's not gonna be the first match, because the kickoff usually has every pay per view usually has two kickoff matches. So we saw on
You
Raw
cut out.
last week that the Revival won a number one contenders match for the Raw Tag Team Championship. So they might just put Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus the Revival, and I'd be very surprised honestly if the Revival won. But who knows? Maybe they would give it to them because they're a pretty damn good tag team, and they've been very frustrated with their position in the company. So they've been in the main roster for over 2 years and haven't won a single belt. So I think it might be
I
time.
mean, yeah, but you know what? You can't put the blame 100% on like WWE. I mean, obviously, what they're doing now, you can. But when they first debuted, one of them got injured. Then when they came back, the second one got injured. So like, yeah, they've been on the main roster for 2 years, but they haven't really been on the main roster for 2 years because of the injuries. Kind of like a Hideo Itami situation. But
Yeah,
I mean, they
that's
definitely
true.
deserve the titles, and they definitely don't deserve to be on the pre-show. I wish Vince would grant them the release just so that way, because at least with AEW they'll have great matches with like the Young Bucks and
Why do you think? So first of all, you're speaking a little low, so maybe you could speak like move a little closer to the mic or something.
okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Sorry, very unprofessional, I know, but I think. Why do you think that they're not granting releases to pretty much everybody, like the Revival and all these other guys, the Mike and Maria Kanellis and all those other ones, but they gave it to Hideo? Why do you think that is?
I think they know Hideo. I don't think they see Hideo as someone AEW would be really interested in. I think Hideo is more going to go back to DDT, maybe New Japan. I don't think they see the money value in Hideo on the independent scene that they see with the other people. Hideo, not that he's old, but he's got a lot of damage to him, especially after those two major injuries he had here. They don't look at him as more of a threat as they do with the Revival or Mike and Maria Kanellis. It's more of just, okay, whatever, you can leave, but no one else can.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, and it's a shame, but like it's kind of like what you said, and I'm pretty sure you got that from Solid Monster saying the blame goes both ways with Hideo, that he got injured. WWE didn't make him injure himself, so he was
I
set for a
mean,
big
well,
push, but kind of
it's
like the
not his
Revival, like you
fault.
said.
I mean, it's not his fault he got injured, but it's also, I mean, think of it if you're in their shoes. It's not that he's even injury prone. I wouldn't like label him as that, but I just feel as if he's got injured so many times. He cooled down a lot. I mean, when he first came in, him and Finn were really a big deal,
Yeah,
and then after that, he got injured and whatever. It's like, okay, you got an injury, fine. We'll put you back on TV, and they did it again, and he got injured again. So the steam was gone. Like when Hideo came back, it was like, all right. Me personally, I didn't really care when he came back. I was like, oh, it's cool. Like it's Kenta. Like,
I mean, I
but
was
they didn't. They
pretty.
were.
I did enjoy that championship match when he came back with Bobby Roode. I thought it was a good match.
I mean, but
You could tell
can you?
he was pretty over because he wrestled Bobby Roode in Chicago, and he did the go to sleep, and there was not a single CM Punk chant. You know
I'm
what I
gonna be
mean?
honest with you. I remember you liking that match when it happened, and I remember not paying attention to it. I
Yeah.
remember it being a good match, but what name a Hideo Itami match that was great in WWE? The
Yeah.
only match I genuinely remember and is him and Finn versus the Ascension on NXT, like at the start. I don't remember anything else, to be honest.
I think he had a match with. I don't know who he had. Yeah.
He
I mean, it had a lot to do with his injury, so he didn't have too many NXT matches, really.
Yeah, but even on the main roster, I mean, he had good cruiserweight matches. The cruiserweight division's killing it, by the way. It's a shame that they're not on the main show, but whatever. That's something for a different day.
Yeah.
But even on 205 Live, like he had good matches, but everyone's really talking about Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, Buddy Murphy. They're not really
Well,
Saying,
Mustafa's in a WWE Championship match, which I never expected him to get that much of a push so quickly.
good for
But we'll
him.
talk about that later, I guess. What do you think? So we said that there might be a Raw tag team match like in the pre-show or something. You're pretty sure that Rude and Gable would keep the title if that was happening?
Yeah, I don't see them losing it. I mean, I don't see them doing anything with that title. I kind of forget it exists.
I would say
Have they
they
been?
give it to, honestly, I mean, it might just be wishful thinking, but I would say the Revival would get it because the um I just thought it was weird. They got a tag team title match, right? Like last month or whatever it was. And they had a match, I forget when, but they got the match and they lost the tag team title match. And then when they had that elimination match with Heavy Machinery and you had the B team and I forget what other team you had, but you had a few other teams. Like Heavy Machinery would have been an interesting matchup that they could have done. So they could have had another team do it. So them giving the Revival another match makes me think maybe they'll actually give the belts to Revival and try
I
to
mean,
make them happier with the company because it's
at
time,
this
like I said.
at this point, I kind of don't care. I give them a fresh start. Just throw them to SmackDown because they're tainted on Raw.
I just want to see. I don't care what happens with the Revival, but the Revival versus the Usos needs to happen in the future.
For certain. That's why I think you just throw them over. Don't have them win anything. Just throw them over to SmackDown.
Or move the Usos to Raw, right?
Don't move the Usos to Raw. Please don't.
Okay.
Don't move the Usos. Don't move them to Raw. I really think, and another tag team that I'm infuriated about that I'm for certain are leaving is the Club.
Yeah.
Luke Gallows. They've done absolutely nothing ever since AJ was traded.
Did you see SmackDown? Now Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev are a tag team. And
those are two people also. It's just like,
yeah, I mean, we'll talk about the Chamber later, but I was very, like, when I saw those names that were announced, I mean, Daniel Bryan, obviously, he's a champion. AJ Styles, obviously. Randy Orton, Samoa Joe. And then they give Jeff Hardy a title match, finally. I mean, he's been back in the company for 2 years. He's been in the tag team the whole time with Matt Hardy, and then he finally got a singles run, and it's been pretty underwhelming so far, let's be honest. He hasn't really done anything. He won the U.S. title, and I can't remember too many, like, amazing, memorable matches that he's had. He's had good matches with Randy Orton, but it's like, is this 2019 or 2007, right?
Yeah, but that Hell in a Cell match was actually really great. That match I enjoyed. But other than that, you are right. I mean, he's only had one really memorable match, but
so
my whole thing is...
do you think the women are going to main event or Daniel Bryan is going to main event?
I would assume you know what? Fuck. I would want Daniel Bryan to main event, but
I feel like it should main event. I know it's like the first women's tag team championship match, but the match itself is very underwhelming. Like, you actually look at the people in the match, like okay, so we have Nia Jackson, Tamina versus Riot Squad, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Iconics, Bayley and Sasha, Naomi. Like, most of these names don't matter to people. Like, they're not main event material. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're gonna have that main event, and I think that's what's upsetting because it's gonna be this is the first time ever. Yeah,
I'm
but
okay
they're
with
into
Becky and Ronda main eventing, but I am not okay with them main eventing Elimination Chamber, like the women's tag match.
I think you have to look at it more as we're coming closer to enough of the first time ever shits. Now, once that's over, then they could stop main eventing.
It's kind of like the Royal Rumble. The women didn't main event this year, but they main evented when it was the first one, right?
Yeah.
I never like tag team chamber matches are always shitty. You ever notice that? Like, there's never a good one.
I enjoyed that one that they had. I didn't think it was horrible.
You mean the one with the New Day? That was pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it for what it was.
That was
the
worst Elimination Chamber show ever. Remember the Intercontinental Chamber with Ryback?
Oh yeah. Well, no, didn't that have Cena and Owens on it though? Pretty sure that had Cena and Owens on it.
Yeah, but the chamber matches, which is what the damn show is named after, sucked.
I mean, that's what most of these gimmick shows. But
I really don't like gimmick shows.
Oh, so I'm gonna bring back Backlash and Vengeance and all that shit.
Especially when, like, the thing about these matches is that you already know. For example, okay, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riott. No one in their right mind is gonna say Ruby Riott's gonna win. And it's like,
watch her
Like, I don't know what the point of her defending her title is. She's not gonna lose her belt when they have Becky Lynch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a throwaway match. It's a nice piss break, whatever.
Who's Asuka fighting?
Asuka does not have a match.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Which is very interesting because I guess if they didn't have a tag match, like a women's tag match, she would have been in the Chamber, right?
I mean, honestly, I think Asuka's just an afterthought. I don't think anyone really cares either. I mean, I don't personally. It's upsetting to say it, but all of these great talents that came from NXT, I just don't really care anymore.
I mean, the rumor is that that they're gonna have Charlotte versus Becky Lynch at the Chamber pay-per-view to like see who gets to main event or something. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen though.
I don't want them to add Charlotte, and I really think they're going to. I know we're jumping ahead, but that's not something. Especially since we're going to this WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's our luck. Yeah, definitely.
Right. You know.
But so we didn't make an official prediction for the women's match and the WWE title match. Let's talk about the SmackDown tag match, The Miz and Shane versus the Usos. What do you think's gonna happen here?
They're gonna win by the skin of their teeth, and then they're gonna start the dissension, and so they're gonna barely win.
Who do you think's gonna take the belt? Maybe Shinsuke and Rusev?
No, not at all. The Bar.
The Bear.
The Bear. They'll have their titles back.
I mean, you have another heel tag team right now, Shinsuke and Rusev.
Why? Just... Oh my God. They're not going to take the titles. They shouldn't take the titles. I don't even want to see those two together. I'm so tired of seeing them in the same segments. Like, SmackDown's been great, with the exception of that.
Like, I know Ray is feuding with Andrade, but I was very surprised that he wasn't in the Chamber. Shinsuke was a WWE Championship match last year at WrestleMania. Look where he is.
Now he's going to probably be on the pre-show.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You give someone like R-Truth the United States title, but you don't give it to Andrade. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe he's going to be the one that takes it from him. Who knows?
Good. I mean, for fuck's sakes, like, what is...
He might just be a placeholder champion. Well, obviously he is. He's R-Truth, first of all. But, I mean, Shinsuke won the title back. Obviously, if the plan is to give it to Andrade, it would make no sense for him to beat Shinsuke because that's heel versus heel, right? And then,
turn Shinsuke face. Turn Shinsuke... He's done everything as a heel. I'm tired of him seeing
enough people in the balls, I think.
I'm tired of seeing him as a heel. Just let him do what he does best. Just come out, like fucking moan and groan, doing some weird ass dances, and just have like the crowd cheer him. As a heel, he brings nothing, no substance to the table.
So I also predict that Miz and Shane are gonna win, but something's gonna happen, definitely.
Yeah, whether it is fucking Shinsuke, someone's gonna interfere. Or something's going to happen where they win by the skin of their teeth.
And I think they're going to move the Usos to Raw. Because they've probably done enough on SmackDown.
Who are they going to fight on Raw? I guess
like
they
could
fight
the Revival.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
It would be nice and fresh. It would be good. But, so let's talk about these last two Well, first of all, they might have a Continental match. You might have Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. Like I said, we're predicting this... The weekend's really the only time that we can get together and make predictions, and by the time next week comes along, it's gonna be like right when the Chamber happens. So we're doing the best we can with the predictions. But like, I think if they're gonna do Finn and Bobby Lashley, I don't know what they're gonna do with that because I feel like Bobby Lashley should be the champion going into WrestleMania.
For what purpose?
Because if they're going to give it to Finn Balor, that should be like a WrestleMania moment, not an Elimination Chamber moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with that. As long as I would be fine with him leaving as long as the plan is to give it to him at Mania.
And I'm okay with Finn Balor like being in the mid card for now and winning the IC title because look what happened with Seth Rollins. They moved him down to the mid card, and it worked out.
Yeah, and he did a great job. Yeah. And not only that, he fucked up Brock Lesnar. I mean, who can... That was the most competitive match Brock Lesnar has had since CM Punk. He beat the shit out of Lesnar. So everyone who's like reporting, oh, he's being moved to 205, he's being moved to 205, I don't believe that for a second, because they would not have Finn Balor beat the shit out of Brock Lesnar and then move him to 205 Live. I just don't believe it.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think if you're gonna
But
move anyone to 205 Live, it should be probably that Lucha. Well, that Lucha House Party. They came up to Raw. They aren't doing anything. I don't know. Like who? I guess some NXT guys you can move, like Johnny Gargano.
No, Johnny should not be on 205 Live. He's
Should
too
it be
good
on
for
NXT
that.
for his entire life?
No, I'm kind of tired of seeing him on NXT now. Actually, him and Ciampa. No, Ciampa I don't mind, but Johnny Gargano, like they played the storyline of him like being this underdog babyface who never wins, and then he actually never fucking wins. And then he just won the title, then he lost it to Velveteen Dream. Spoiler. So it's like
Oh, apparently,
kind of
did you see what actually happened though in that with the taping?
he lost it, and then he beat him up, and then he took it back.
No, man, you didn't see this.
No.
I mean, this has had nothing to do with the chamber, but they taped two different finishes to the match, so you don't know who actually won.
Oh. Well,
They never do.
either
that.
way.
That's crazy. I guess they're really trying to fight spoilers.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. That's
But
pretty interesting.
so who do you think's gonna win the women's tag match then? I feel it's between like all these other teams are just random teams they put together just to have this match. I think it really the two most viable teams are obviously Bayley and Sasha Banks, which are the favorites, and also Nia Jax and Tamina are also probably also very likely to win. So between those two, because you think Riot Squad's gonna win, you think Naomi and Carmella's gonna win? No.
It's
Who do you
gonna
think's
be
gonna win then?
it's gonna be Sasha and Bailey, and they're probably gonna fight Lita and Trish Stratus at Mania.
What?
Yeah,
What?
that's my prediction.
Okay. Interesting.
Who else are they gonna
prediction.
fight? Nia Jax is gonna be fighting Dean Ambrose. There's no other good
Yeah,
tag team.
that's
Who else
true.
are they fighting?
That's true.
They got to give him an important match on Mania. You know, don't give them fucking random people like the Riot Squad. No, they'll fight them.
Okay, so Bailey and Sasha are gonna win, which I think that will eventually, like over time, lead to a Sasha Banks heel turn, because they've been teasing this for so long. It's like ridiculous.
It's
Like
so desperately needed.
they've been teasing this thing longer than Tommaso and Johnny. Like how long that's been going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's enough already.
Just
It's
give them the
definitely
damn
enough.
belts and have Sasha beat the crap out of Bailey already, and then
Move on already.
yeah, move
Just
on already. Honestly. So here's the match that should be the main event and is the one I'm looking the most forward to. Is Daniel Bryan defending his hemp eco-friendly WWE Championship
That
against
is the best fucking thing of all time. I just want to say that.
yes,
Daniel Bryan is the greatest heel ever.
yes.
I mean, I don't know about this Rowan shit. I don't really care about that. All I
Oh,
care about is the hemp.
I
belt.
laughed my ass off when Daniel Bryan came out after the Royal Rumble, and he announced Rowan, and then it had
It was the eco-friendly.
it
Yeah,
had the recycling sign as the O.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
that was great, dude. This is amazing. Don't take the title off of him.
No,
Whoever he
that's
fights
why
at
I don't
Mania,
think they're going to take it off him if they just design this new belt and everything. You know what I mean?
yeah, keep it
He
on him.
could drop it at WrestleMania, but that's another thing. I don't know who the hell. So AJ Styles is going to be in the match. Jeff Hardy, Mustafa Ali, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe. I think obviously, like I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan's going to retain.
Yeah, he is.
I
for
think
certain.
Mustafa Ali's going to be like he's going to do crazy shit off the chamber, do some high flying shit. Like that's his purpose in the match, but he's not gonna. He's probably actually gonna last in the match longer than you might expect. Like I don't think he's gonna be the first one eliminated. I think whoever gets eliminated first might be like a heel, and they're gonna like attack. Like let's say Mustafa Ali
It'd
eliminates
be
Samoa Joe.
It would be Joe.
Samoa Joe would attack Mustafa Ali and like beat the crap out of him, and that might lead to like a WrestleMania thing. But
I think this is going to be the best match of the night. This is the only match I'm looking forward to.
and you saw what they
I
did with Jeff Hardy on SmackDown. They had him hit Daniel Bryan with a Swanton bomb. It would have been 1, 2, 3, and then Rowan interfered. So they made Jeff Hardy look really good going into this match. I think we're gonna see Jeff Hardy do some crazy thing, like maybe go to the top of the chamber and try to do a swanton. Which
That's
maybe at 41 years old he should do less and less of that. But
listen, he's gonna do what he wants to do. But at this point in time, I don't. The one thing I don't want to see is Jeff Hardy versus Daniel Bryan at the main event of WrestleMania. Well, not the main event, but all right, we all know Bryan's winning. That's where this card is. Not that it's bad that it's predictable. I just think it's a bad card because it doesn't seem like an entertaining show. Like on paper, this is pretty lackluster. But forget that shit. Who is he fighting at Mania? I don't know.
Honestly, it's not obviously not AJ. It's obviously not Jeff. It can't be Randy because Randy's a heel. Samoa Joe's a heel. So I don't know. Mustafa, like, I know Solid Monster said Mustafa Ali, but I don't think that's gonna really draw. You know what I mean?
I mean,
and
who is he
no
gonna fight?
Mustafa can win. So
yeah, but you don't. First of all, you don't know that, but it might not draw now, but it'll make a star out of Mustafa. Like, you got to start somewhere. I wouldn't be against him fighting Mustafa, but I don't think it's likely. I don't know. I mean, he does have a clean victory over him, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, like you said, Joe's a heel, which is another thing. Joe needs to have a great match at Mania. I don't know who he's going to fight. I don't know what he's going to do, but he needs to have a good match.
He's never had a one-on-one WrestleMania match.
Has he had any Mania match? I don't think so.
No, he hasn't had a single one because going into WrestleMania 33, he was injured.
Yeah.
And then I forget 34. He didn't have a match either.
That was 34.
Oh, it was 34.
Yeah, he debuted the night after 33.
Right. Oh no! Didn't he debut when Seth Rollins had that feud with Triple H before WrestleMania 33, and Samoa Joe attacked him? Remember Seth?
Oh yeah, then he injured him. Yeah, he didn't have a match that night. Yes. So he debuted around that time, but he wasn't on the card, and then he was injured for 34. I don't know who he would fight. Honestly, I would just make him fight Kurt Angle and call it a day. Like, they're doing this. No, listen, it makes sense. You're doing this Kurt Angle redemption storyline. Joe's fucking. Who else is he gonna fight? Orton and AJ are done. He's not gonna fight Mustafa Ali. He's not in the WWE title match, and he's not gonna be in the Universal title match. Who is he gonna fight? You really want to see Baron Corbin and AJ at Mania?
What? You mean?
Baron Corbin and Kurt Angle? Yeah, I don't know why I thought AJ. No, just have Joe fight him, and have Joe like choke him out or some shit. They're doing this stupid ass redemption storyline either way, which is not stupid. I actually like it, but
I can't imagine Kurt Angle picking up someone like Samoa Joe for an angle slam.
I mean, it's done it before.
Oh yeah, in TNA, right?
Yeah.
I guess he's been looking like such shit lately. It makes him look like he's just like a weak piece of shit.
I mean, but I feel like that's the plan, though. I don't think obviously he's aged a shit ton. Like, there's no denying that. But I also don't think he's as bad as he's.
That match with Drew was actually pretty good.
I enjoyed that match a lot. I thought it was great, and I thought it did a good job for Drew.
We can spend the next 20 minutes talking about what the hell they're going to do with WrestleMania. But one thing we know for sure, though, is that Daniel Bryan is going to retain.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a
that's
feeling.
pretty.
Who do you think are going to be like the final two? You think it might be Daniel and Jeff? I mean, I feel like the final two is going to be like
Daniel and AJ.
Him and AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
and I think
that Elimination
maybe Orton
2 years ago. It was Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles, and Bray Wyatt won.
Yeah.
So it's very possible for the title to change hands because no one expected Cena to drop the belt like that. I thought it was going to be Bray versus Randy for the WWE title, but most people thought I was crazy. But everyone was saying it's going to be Cena and AJ like last match at WrestleMania. But it just reinforces the point that you really never know what's going to happen in the chamber. But I feel like I would have felt like Daniel Bryan might have dropped the belt if they didn't introduce that eco-friendly belt.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean, I think it's really going to play out with Orton screwing over
I mean, who
AJ.
knows? Edge had that rated R belt, and he didn't have a long reign, right?
Yeah, but oh fuck, I just died. You cut out.
What's that?
Cut out.
Can you hear
Edge
me?
had a rated R belt. Yeah, now I can.
No, that's all I said. I just said the rated R belt. He didn't have a long reign. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but okay. let's say for example he gets eliminated first. So then who are you picking to win?
If who gets eliminated first?
Daniel Bryan gets eliminated first. Who's winning? Let's
Uh,
just say.
I guess Samoa Joe.
I mean, like I think at this point he deserves it.
If Samoa Joe, what do you think? What do you think about the pitch of, let's say, turn Samoa Joe face and have him fight Daniel Bryan?
I really feel like I don't know. That
Because
type of match.
Joe is kind of like, he's not really like. That's the thing with the heel and face. Like Randy and Joe, you notice they're like. I mean, Randy Orton kind of had that thing going on where like, I'm gonna destroy all your favorite wrestlers, but Randy and Joe, like, they get cheered, and the way that the character works is like they just do what they want for themselves, but they're not necessarily like good or bad. They're like in between. You know what I mean?
I know, but I feel like when I picture that match happening, I see it more of like Joe being an aggressive heel and Daniel Bryan being like this baby face.
Kinda
But it
like
can
Brock,
work either way.
like Brock and
Yeah, but
Daniel. Yeah.
it can work either way. I wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't. I would probably prefer that. I just want to see them have a match. Like I want to see them have a program. I actually just watched their Ring of Honor match earlier, which was
Or
great.
maybe, since we're talking about who might be eliminated first, it might be Randy. AJ eliminates Randy, and that could set up that match.
I just said that like 12 times. Yeah, that's definitely going to happen. That is for certain going to happen.
Yeah. I think Jeff Hardy and Mustafa are going to do some cool things, but they're ultimately not going to be like a huge factor in the match. It could go down to Daniel Bryan and AJ, like you predicted. It could also go down to Daniel Bryan and Hardy, but I don't think it's going to go down to like... It could go down to Daniel and Mustafa also. I don't know, but it's not like Randy and Samoa Joe are obviously going to be eliminated,
Early.
pretty close. Yeah, pretty early in the matchup, I'd say. Like Mustafa can eliminate Joe, AJ eliminates Randy, and then it will be like, Daniel, AJ, and Jeff will be the last three. And maybe Daniel Bryan will eliminate Hardy, and then he'll, AJ will be like within an inch of getting the title, but then Rowan will get in the chamber somehow, and that might be how that happens.
Why does Vince McMahon have Pat Patterson when he could just have us? We could just be the agents for all the matches.
Yeah, except we don't know what the hell to do. I mean, what they should do is that Daniel Bryan should have a match. I would like Samoa Joe, but it's definitely not happening.
I mean, unless it's like an NXT call up, which it wouldn't be. But you know what, Mustafa Ali should go make it far because their booking of him is perfect. He's been putting on quality matches with all these people on SmackDown every week, and he's been losing, but he's bringing them like he's almost won all those matches. So it's not like he's losing, but he's losing effectively. It kind of reminds me of like a Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano type of thing where, they love him and they want him to win, and he's not winning, but he gets like more over every time he loses, which is like a really special thing because you don't have that often, and I think they should capitalize on that. So I wouldn't be upset if it was him fighting Daniel at WrestleMania. In fact, I think it probably will happen. Thinking about it, just from a storyline perspective, it makes the most sense.
Well,
he does have.
Well, we're. I don't know what they're gonna do at WrestleMania, but I'm pretty sure Bryan's gonna win, and we'll save that for our WrestleMania predictions on what the hell.
All I know is this Elimination Chamber will be 37 stars, approved by Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. All right, so those are our Elimination Chamber predictions. Those are our Elimination Chamber predictions. Thanks for tuning in.
37.